Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Carly and Willow's relationship ruined. Daughter-in-law's Drew mistake enrages Michael's mom. General Hospital. Spoilers reveal that the fallout of Willow Corinthos, Caitlin McMullen, crossing the line with Drew Quartermain, Cameron Matheson, is going to be huge. There are multiple layers to this story and so many ways for this to blow up in both their faces. However, we want to focus on the Carly Spencer, Laura Wright angle for a moment since she'll have more than one reason to be appalled. When Carly inevitably finds out about Willow's betrayal with Drew, you can bet she'll blow her top. For starters, Carly is fiercely protective of her children, so she certainly won't approve of Willow cheating on Michael Corinthos, Chad Duell. If Willow and Drew do more than just kiss at any point in this storyline, that'll rile Carly up even further. Drew is Michael's uncle, so there's already an ick factor going on. The fact that Drew has secretly been hooking up with Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, is another gross element since she's Willow's mother. That said, there's at least one more problem with Drew and Willow's passion that we have to acknowledge. Drew is Carly's ex, so she'll be even more outraged over Willow making her move here. Carly may find it disgusting that Willow's latched onto Drew like this after their split, especially considering how much it's going to hurt Michael. Of course, Carly won't give Drew a pass for his part in the scandal, but things have already been awkward between them since they broke up. It's different with Willow and Carly since they have such a wonderful connection. Carly treats her daughter-in-law like she's Michael's perfect match, but she's in for a rude awakening once saintly Willow's secret comes out. Our Guillesh predictions point to Willow facing Carly's wrath down the road, so fans will want to stay tuned to watch their relationship fall apart. Are you looking forward to Willow facing her downfall? Will Carly and Willow's bond be ruined beyond repair? General Hospital spoilers say Willow will have to pay the price for her unfaithfulness, so we'll pass along updates on all the backlash and devastating news ahead of her. The sun dipped low over Port Charles, casting long shadows over the Corinthos estate. Inside, tension simmered beneath the surface, threatening to boil over as secrets and mistakes unraveled lives. Carly Corinthos paced the living room, her mind a whirl of conflicting emotions. She had always prided herself on being strong, resilient, and fiercely protective of her family. But the news she had just received felt like a dagger to the heart. Her daughter-in-law, Willow, had made a mistake, a colossal one involving Drew, a man Carly considered family. It had started innocently enough, or so Willow had claimed. Drew had been there for her during the darkest days of her leukemia battle, a steady rock when everything else seemed to be falling apart. Michael, Carly's son, had been consumed with worry and work, trying to balance his responsibilities at Aurora Media with being a supportive husband. In the midst of it all, Drew had become a confidant for Willow, someone she could lean on without fear of judgment. But what began as friendship had taken a dangerous turn. A chance encounter at the Quartermain mansion, a few too many glasses of wine, and emotions running high. It had all culminated in a moment of weakness. Carly's mind replayed the scene as if she had witnessed it herself. Drew and Willow, stripped of their inhibitions, succumbing to a passion neither had anticipated nor could justify. Michael had found out, of course. Secrets never stayed hidden for long in Port Charles. His world had shattered in an instant, and Carly had been there to pick up the pieces. She had comforted her son, reassured him that they would get through this, that families could survive even the deepest betrayals. But now, as she stood in her living room, the enormity of the situation weighed heavily on her shoulders. Willow had come to her, tearful and remorseful, begging for forgiveness. She had confessed everything, hoping to mend the fractured bonds. But Carly was not so easily swayed. Her loyalty to Michael was unwavering, and the betrayal cut deep. She couldn't simply brush aside the pain and the anger. As Carly paced, the door opened, and in walked Sonny. His presence was a balm, steadying her as he always had. He took one look at her face and knew something was wrong. "Carly," he said softly, crossing the room to her. "What's happened?" She turned to him, eyes blazing with a mixture of anger and hurt. "It's Willow," she said, her voice tight. She made a mistake with Drew. Michael found out, and now everything's a mess." Sonny's expression darkened. He had a soft spot for Willow, but his loyalty to his family was paramount. "What do you want to do?" he asked, knowing that Carly would have already started formulating a plan. "I don't know," Carly admitted, her voice cracking. "I want to forgive her, but I can't just ignore what she did to Michael. Our family is falling apart, Sonny. How do we fix this?" Sonny pulled her into an embrace, his touch grounding her in the moment. "We'll figure it out," he promised. "We'll talk to Michael, see what he wants. But Carly, you have to find it in your heart to forgive. Holding on to this anger will only hurt you more." Carly knew he was right, but the path to forgiveness was fraught with difficulty. She thought of Michael, the pain in his eyes when he had told her about Willow's betrayal. He deserved better. He deserved loyalty and honesty. The days that followed were a blur of tense conversations and difficult decisions. Carly and Sonny sat down with Michael, who was still reeling from the betrayal. He oscillated between anger and heartbreak, struggling to find a way forward. "I don't know if I can ever trust her again," Michael said one evening, his voice filled with despair. "How could she do this to us?" Carly reached out, taking his hand in hers. "People make mistakes, Michael. Sometimes terrible ones. But if you still love her, if there's any part of you that believes you can move past this, then you have to try. For Wiley, for your future." Michael looked at his mother, seeing the pain in her eyes that mirrored his own. "What about you, Mom? Can you forgive her?" Carly's breath caught. Forgiveness had never been easy for her, but for the sake of her family, she knew she had to try. "It's going to take time," she admitted. "But if you can find it in your heart to forgive her, then I will too. We'll get through this together." Willow's remorse was palpable. She knew she had hurt the people she loved most, and she was determined to make amends. She started by speaking with Drew, ensuring that their mistake would never be repeated and that their friendship would remain strictly platonic. She then turned to Michael, pouring her heart out in a tearful confession. "I love you, Michael. I made a terrible mistake, and I will spend the rest of my life making it up to you if you let me." Michael's response was slow in coming, but eventually he nodded. "We have a lot of work to do, Willow. Trust has to be rebuilt, and it's not going to be easy." Their journey to reconciliation was arduous, filled with setbacks and small victories. Carly watched from the sidelines, her own feelings slowly shifting. She saw the effort Willow was putting in, the genuine remorse and determination to make things right. Gradually, Carly's anger began to soften, replaced by a cautious hope. One evening, Carly found herself alone with Willow. The tension between them was palpable, but Carly took a deep breath, deciding to take the first step. "Willow," she began, "I want you to know that I see how hard you're trying. I won't say it's easy for me, but for Michael's sake, I'm willing to try too." Tears welled in Willow's eyes. "Thank you, Carly. That means more to me than you know." The road to healing was long and fraught with challenges, but as the days turned into weeks, a new understanding began to take root. Carly and Willow started to rebuild their relationship, one step at a time. There were still moments of tension, but they were overshadowed by a growing sense of solidarity. In the end, it was the love they all shared for Michael and Wiley that held them together. Mistakes had been made and trust had been broken, but their bond as a family proved stronger than the forces trying to tear them apart. Carly stood on the terrace one evening, looking out over the city as the sun set. Sonny joined her, slipping an arm around her waist. "How are you feeling?" he asked gently. "Hopeful," Carly replied, leaning into him. "It's not perfect, but we're getting there. We're healing." Sonny pressed a kiss to her temple. "That's all we can do, Carly. Take it one day at a time." As they stood together, watching the sky turn shades of orange and pink, Carly felt a renewed sense of strength. They had faced yet another storm and come out the other side, battered but not broken. And for the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to believe that everything would be okay.